I did a little wardrobe change, and there's a reason why I did a wardrobe change, and I'm wearing my Philadelphia Flyers jersey. Philadelphia Flyers, as you know, I'm from Philly, South Philly, and I used to play a little hockey, a lot of hockey actually. In South Philly, I was on a team called the Church Boys, and I was number 7, a left wing, Reggie Leach, and I'm here with a fellow hockey player I'm inactive, but he's been playing, and he plays here in Buenos Aires, Adam, the Canadian Wonder, Webb.
Hey, Butter. Nice to see you.
How you doing?
Nice to see you.
He calls me Butter. Why do you call me Butter?
It's one of your many nicknames, I'm sure. Paul was my baseball coach. I met Paul on the Shankies, and I have a little something for you. The Shankies, you might want to tell
the Buenos Aires Shankies.
It's a little gift for you.
My
you might
God.
recognize that.
Show
Look
it,
at
show
that.
it.
Show it to the camera.
This is classic Shankies memorabilia.
OG,
This is
baby.
about worth easy $1 million pesos.
That's about...
Whoever has one of these Shanky stickers is a very fortunate person.
It's another Shankies. It's SH.
Yeah, Shankies.
What are these Shankies?
Shankies comes from a shank. I'm from Philly, and we used to carry shanks. As a matter of fact, I want to read something maybe a little later on that's called Back in Philly, where I mentioned the word shanks. A shank is a knife. And back in Philly, everybody carried shanks. And in 2008, I decided to start a baseball team. And I said, what can I call it? And everybody said, Che Shanky. Everybody calls me the Shanky. So why not call it the Shankies? And I put Shank, and that's how I met Adam on the baseball field.
That's right. I was at a party. Someone said to me, hey, do you play baseball? And I said, yeah, I used to play a little bit. And they said, there's a team starting up. I'll give you a guy's number. I think it was your number. Maybe it was Jason's. And I think 3 days later, I was on the field, on the diamond, of course, with the Shankies. First game, 8 players.
8 players.
And Paul put it together. It grew. Remember the clubhouse?
Yeah, it grew. It grew to over 200 players from around the world.
It was
played
awesome.
for the Shankies.
It was awesome. We played against, so it's an all-American team, and me being the only Canadian. And we played that first year. We played against an all-Cuban team. We played against the
all-Dominican team.
All-Dominican team, the all-Japanese team
The
from
all-
Nietzsche,
the
which is
Koreans, the
crazy.
Koreans, the
and the
Koreans
Japanese
smelled, man.
too.
They always smell like
amazing.
wonton soup.
We went to Nietzsche on a Saturday, and they were kids at school. I
Yeah.
remember. It's like totally Japanese.
Where do you play? Where do you play ice hockey?
Where do I play hockey? Let's get back to hockey. I've been playing now for the last few years. The last few years. That's not true. I started playing in 2017. So I got 2 years in before the pandemic. I was here for 20 years before I discovered hockey, which is a shame because I would have been playing the whole time. I found it in a place called Alpina Skate, which some people know because they do birthday parties and stuff. They used to in Flores. I took my kids skating there. I've got 2 boys. I took the boys there, Benny and Milo.
Yeah, one of them is an actor.
One of them is an actor. Yes, he is. He's been in some movies that you may have seen. And I took them there, and I found out there was hockey. I couldn't believe it. I started playing. It was amazing. After I think I hadn't played in 26 years. I played a lot when I was a kid until I was 20.
Yeah.
Hadn't played in 26 years. Went back, loved it. Although the first time I went out with, so these are Argentines. They're all Argentines. People say to me, they all must be all expats, right, or Canadians, or they're all Argentine guys that somehow fell in love with hockey.
Where do you guys play?
We used to play there. There was a league there at Alpina. It closed during the pandemic, 2 weeks into the pandemic, as you can imagine. It was impossible to keep the place open.
Near the railroads. The trains.
That's another one. That is a place called, it used to be called Polar City or Winter, I think.
Winter.
Exactly. No, Alpina was right on Rivadavia. Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
It was an iconic place. It was amazing. It was awesome. It closed, and then we had nothing for 4 years. And last year, a wonderful person whose name is Hernan, a hockey player, after 4 years of spending and building and renovating and doing everything he had to do, opened a new rink in Devoto.
Where did you play in Canada?
I grew up in a little town.
Where were you from?
I was born in Montreal. So I'm a Habs fan. That shirt is a little offensive, but it's okay. So
Well, this shirt
it's-
offends her because we're so good.
Yeah. That's exactly it. That's why. I grew up. I was born in Montreal. Grew up in a little town outside of Toronto called Orangeville. That's where I played most of my hockey. Little place, and
The Flyers are orange.
that's right. Yeah, you know what? We wore uniforms that looked. Our shirts were just like that. Just like that. Not a P, obviously. We had an O, but it was a flying O. It was that. We were orange, and and you can see my number. You said you were number 7. I've always been number 7, and I also played left wing, Paul. So it's another thing we have in common.
Nice. Left
one
wing.
Of the,
Left wing.
one of the
rocks.
many things we have in
Reggie
common.
Leach was my favorite player growing up.
Yeah.
Growing up back in the day, Reggie Leach.
I was a Habs fan. I like Guy Lafleur, Steve
yeah.
Shutt. I met
Hockey
Reggie
back.
Leach though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Buffalo. So now the rink opened up again. We're playing at a place called Fantasy Skate in Devoto, like 3 blocks from the. You gotta come and see it, man. You love it. The rink is amazing.
Yeah,
it's the biggest rink that's ever existed in Buenos Aires. Apparently, like in the 50s and the 60s.
It's in
into
Devoto.
the 70s. It's in
Devoto.
Devoto. In Devoto, it's like 3 blocks from the shopping center. Apparently, in like the 50s, 60s here, there were, I don't know, 15, 20 skating rinks. And in the 70s, most of them went. There's one, actually, you know where Geba is here on this, it's on this street. Geba had one of the first rinks here, and it was on the 5th floor, and they had the compressors down on the street level. So some people learned to play here on an ice rink on the 5th floor of a building. It's nuts. Anyway, this new rink is amazing. They did a beautiful job. It's a great place. There's a good hamburger joint in there. There's like stands. There's room for 500 people to watch. So it's a really cool spectacle. It's amazing. So we started up again recently because they opened it and then it got closed down for, I don't know.
What's it like to get equipment? Because I know a hockey player needs a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's not easy.
No, it's not easy.
Within the community, people get new stuff sometimes and buy. So there's a lot of stuff that circulates within especially for the kids, right? But I go back and I buy stuff. As a matter of fact, this weekend I was talking to my brother. He was at a secondhand store there on Vancouver Island where
I
they
would
live now.
love to have a hockey stick.
And he showed me
CCM.
2 pairs of gloves, and I said buy them because I'm going for a visit next month. So
Philly
picking up some equipment.
hockey was so big in the winter and even in the summer. We played roller hockey on the street.
You did, eh?
It was awesome.
Were there outdoor rinks in Philly?
Well, we made our own rinks, you know.
Could they make out? It's cold enough to make outdoor rinks, right?
Yeah, ice rinks? No, not necessarily. No, some lakes would freeze, but you know.
You know, I think I never told you this, but I was in Philly for a hockey tournament when I was a kid, when I was like about 10 years old, and we were leaving. We were billeted, right? So I stayed with another player and his family, and when we were leaving, they were taking me to the bus. We were on a bus with the whole team. We drove back up on a bus, and when we were leaving, they were taking me to the bus, and I was walking a little bit behind them, and I fell through a manhole in Philly.
Oh.
Yeah, I could have died in Philly. That was one of my memories of Philly. Yeah, and I caught the sides like this. My legs were in water.
Oh.
Yeah, and they kept walking, and they turned around, and so that's one of my memories of Philly.
Wow.
And the
Not
team.
A good one.
Pretty much whipped
Some people
us.
remember, cheesesteaks in Philly, not falling into a manhole.
This is falling into
Ice hockey fighting.
fighting. There was a little bit of that in Canada. There's no fighting here. It's a little tamer here.
Oh.
Yeah, it's there's no hitting. It's never non-contact, but it's no hitting, right? And I think that's a good idea because people are not prepared for getting smoked here.
I played ice hockey in high school. I broke a couple ribs. I was like, that's it. I got checked into the boards.
Getting hit.
Big time. I got a stick right in the ribs. I was like,
I was playing with a guy once. This is not the nicest of stories, but it's a good one. I was playing with a guy once. I was maybe 13, and I was on the bench, and one of our guys went into the corner with another player. His name was Bart. And there was a bit of a crash. One guy hit another guy. They fell down. A stick broke. And then there was some screaming and shouting. And it was our player. And the coach went out there. There was a lot of blood. Oh. And it came to our attention that his new nickname would be One Ball Bart.
oh.
No.
And we had to go back out and keep playing the game after that. So there was a stoppage. They cleaned up the blood. And then they said, okay, guys, let's go out there and finish the game. And we were skating gingerly, to say the least. For the rest of the game, we're like, okay, no, you take it. It's okay, you have it. We were a little, Poor one ball Bart, but he was okay.
Hockey players don't make a lot of money compared to like baseball players, basketball players.
It's true.
Professional hockey players. I mean, it's one of the toughest sports. It's the fastest sport.
Yeah.
One of the fastest sports on it. It's a really fast moving sport. As baseball, people say baseball's slow. But baseball, it develops slow, but it has fast action.
It's explosive.
Everything travels at really high speeds in baseball. But everybody, takes their time, but
good.
it's really high speed. You swing really fast. The ball travels. You have to throw fast. You have to run fast. It's a fast. It's slow paced, but it's and
explosive.
hockey is explosive. It never stops.
Hockey is full on all the time. Totally.
And hockey players professional hockeyers don't make the money that a
no,
basketball
it's true.
player
No,
makes.
but they're doing okay. I don't feel
Yeah,
sorry
they're
for
not
them.
broke.
But they play 2 games in the year like a basketball team, and it's a lot. I think it's a lot tougher on their bodies than basketball. 82 games plus the playoffs. I know, being a Philadelphia fan, you don't know a lot about that, but a lot of teams,
drop the gloves.
a lot of teams.
La bardeó.
We dropped the gloves.
A lot of teams.
Can you show us a little bit of your shirt?
My shirt? Yeah, this is actually a shirt that I don't know how well you can see this. This is the club. It's called the SEM that I'm a part of. And I think there are 4 or 5 clubs that have teams here in Buenos Aires.
Linces.
The Linces. This is a team, I think in 2018, a group of us, because the community is really small. And what the club used to do is they would mix all the guys up, but put them in a shaker, and you'd have 2 teams of 8 players and a goalie, and they would play in a league with the other clubs, 4 or 5 other clubs.
Sure.
But they put us in a shaker, and that's not the way to have a team sport, you know what I mean? To be a team, right? Yeah. So we finally, me and a couple other guys, sort of chose the people that we thought would be good for the team. They were not the best players. We weren't looking for the best players or the most talented players. We pretty much chose the guys that hung out after games and drank beer. Because it's beer league basically, right? And so we got the coolest group of guys together, and then they came up with this. This is not so cool. This is the Wildcats from High School Musical, I think, is where they got the idea. Which ain't that cool for a hockey team. So the story about everything else, the hitting and it being tough and drinking beer, kind of went down the drain there. But
they can sing and dance too. Maybe
we don't do singing and dancing. No, but I don't. I think they sort of did it ironically, and I said, okay, you know what am I gonna do? Fine with me.
I watched Happy Gilmore.
Colors.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I watched Happy Gilmore 2 yesterday.
I watched it a couple days ago. It's
yeah,
awesome.
really? Did you like
it's
it?
Awesome. Yeah.
I watched half. It's a long movie.
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore 1 rocked.
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore 2, I yet to finish it, but that's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And tell me,
I love golf too, by the way.
Yeah,
I don't
do
know
you play golf?
Yeah, I play golf a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I play
You must
golf.
a lot of places to play golf.
You must have a
There
lot
are
of
a
free
lot.
time.
I've played in a lot of places.
You need a lot of free time to play golf.
You need a full day on Sunday or Saturday, right?
Yeah,
So-
wives love that.
After a while, it's not so bad.
Yeah,
after a while,
at
the beginning it was kind of like you're going all day, and
I
now
can clean.
Yeah, you're going all day. It used to be, and now it's like, you're going all day. At times, the intonation has changed.
Your
Same
wife
words.
is Argentine?
She's Argentine. She's from a little town in the south of Cordoba. No accent.
Cordobesa.
She's Cordobesa, but she's from a little place called Alejo Ledesma, which no one has ever heard of. It's between Canals and Arias, which most people have never heard of, but those are the big places that sort of. And it's flat, nice sunrises and
You've been here
sunsets.
for a long time.
I've been here I got here in '97.
Your kids,
almost as much as
your
almost
children,
as long as I am.
are they Argentinian?
Yeah, I've been here for 27 years, and I haven't lived anywhere else.
So,